you get married and you have kids and you kind of have to put things on the back burner. I never took like a full break from photography. But you had to, my kids were home with me for I think their first 2 years before I started sending them to daycare kind of part-time.
Mhm.
So like all of my focus was on them. And while I was still shooting weddings on the side, I still had to kind of pull back. Um, and then once they went to school, I was able to pick that back up. But the photography industry, and I think a lot of industries that involve tech, everything changes so fast. Even marketing change so fast. I mean, between having my kids and then jumping back into the photography world, you had Instagram that came about, like, and that was a new way of marketing. So it's like, oh God, I felt like I was playing catch up for a while, and I honestly feel like I'm still trying to catch up on certain things. Um, but I also have had to be honest with what I'm comfortable with, like for myself, like, and just staying authentic to who I am, and where I know my clients live, and where I can show up authentically. Um, I think a lot of times we mimic the things that we think we want to be, or growing up we're like told we have to do certain things a certain way and whatever, and you get to a point you're like, yeah, this isn't working for me. Let me just clean the slate and figure out what's going to work for me. And so that's where I am now. It's like you said, it's the rediscovery. It's coming out of the, I'll say that, I don't want to say the societal pressures that we grew up with, but for lack of better terms, the societal pressures that we grew up with, the things again that we thought we were supposed to do, coming out of, not out of motherhood, but because my kids are 16 and 12, almost 16, will be 16 next month, 16th and 12th. So I'm not in that baby phase. So now I can really focus back on myself. Um, there were a lot of things that I really did put on outside of career, put on the back burner. Health, I mean, could have been missing dentist appointments or doctor's appointments. It was sleep, it was eating, it was working out, it was all of those things. And I think over the past year and a half, I've really realized how those things have not only affected my personal life, but have absolutely affected my business and my career, because I work for me. Like my business name is Kia Dupree Photography. It's
Mhm.
one thing, and I know, I think we all deal with mom guilt, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, work from home mom, entrepreneur, work for, I don't know, department or whoever. Um, but I realize I have to show up in a different way. Um, and a lot that has happened over the past, I'll say like, I mean, like I said, my son's about to be 16. So yeah, 16, 17 years has just, it's been a lot. Um, I'm 44, I'll be 45 next month. And I always heard women that were older than me say, girl, when you turn 40, it's a different life. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like 32. Like, what does that mean? And like 38, I kind of started to feel a little like shake up, just like a little jolt. And 40 was like a light switch. It was like this awakening. Um, Sometimes I'm like, am I going through a midlife crisis? Because there's so many things that I want to change, and people that may not need to exist in my life anymore, or friendships or whatever it may be. And so it really has been this overall spiritual, emotional, and mental awakening over the past 4, now almost 5 years.
For the full conversation and to join us live each week to participate and get your questions answered, be sure to click that link to join the Mamahood experience. It costs you nothing to join, but you'll gain everything you need to know to make your mamahood journey just a little easier.